Folks, this is Lose Control every Wednesday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. only on 93.3 CFMU. On the show today, our friend Rob Sweeney gives us a fantastic MP3 of the week, as he always does. This is kind of indirectly related to Led Zeppelin, and we'll tell you how and why once we play the MP3 of the week at 4 o'clock. Following the MP3 of the week, we'll be joining Kyle Bishop of Grade. They're playing the Saint this weekend. Lots of excitement about this band getting back together, and we'll find out why. Kyle will be kind enough to spend a few minutes with us via telephone right after the MP3 of the week. Lots of requests. We're going to be spinning some music from Jerry Lee Lewis, who celebrated his 79th birthday on Monday, as well as a few other requests that have been coming in, so keep them coming in as well, please. Go to Lose Control Facebook page, LOU_S Control, and you could drop me a message that way, and if we have the music, and if it fits with the show, then we'll gladly play it. Low, look who's here. What mic are you on, sir?
4. Is a 4 a good one?
4 is a good one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You know what? As long as you're talking, it's good. How you doing, Manolis?
I'm good.
Take your vitamin.
I am. I'm drinking it right now.
No, the thing is, you got to suck them back.
All right.
There you go. Right on. You've got a busy day and night tonight, right? You're hanging out here, and then hanging
out with my buddy Stan Thompson.
Stan Thompson's in town.
Yeah, he's a comedian friend of mine. I'm excited to see him.
Who also does a great impression of Rick Taylor.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably bring him on air next week.
That'd be fantastic. How long is he in town for?
He's in town for I think a month or two at least. So I'm really excited about that.
And he's visiting us from Calgary.
Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you used to say Calgary.
Calgary. Is it? What did I say originally? Calgary?
No, Calgary.
You know how I found out Calgary was a city? You know that.
Calgary?
Yeah.
It is a city.
I know. I found out from being there.
What did you think it was before?
Well,
like a neighborhood?
I thought also Alberta was a city.
Oh, what kind of geographical courses did you take?
I just asked someone. I'm like, "Where's Alberta?"
Did you study geography when you were at school?
What do you think? What do you think by this conversation?
You didn't, right? Well, I figured maybe you did, and you forgot.
I learn about places when I go.
Right.
I don't know how I get there, but I get there. But I had the ticket bought for me because it was a Yucks gig.
Right.
So when I was there, and I'm like, "Where's Alberta?" I'm like, "What do you mean, where's Alberta? You're in Alberta. It's Alberta, Calgary, Alberta."
Right. It's the province, like Ontario.
That's how I learned, though.
Did you always think that Ontario was a city before you realized you were in the province?
No, I always knew about Ontario.
Right.
But I didn't know what Calgary's Ontario was, which is Alberta.
Right. Right, the province.
That's how I associate it. Okay, so I don't know what's their province. I go, "What's your Ontario?"
That's funny.
Like, our Ontario's Alberta.
You're telling jokes tonight?
At Yuck Yucks with Patrick Coppolino. I think Stan might get up and do a spot, hopefully. I think I'm going to get him on, too. Mm-hmm. Hey, the Jay Giles Band.
Yeah.
They're the ones also that sings Centerfold, right?
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard any other song than Centerfold in my life, I think.
Do you remember that song called Love Stinks?
I might to hear it. Oh, I just bought the album on vinyl, and I was listening to it, and I realized there's a couple songs on it I didn't know I knew. But I love that song so much. Do you love that song?
Sing the chorus. My love runs cold. My memory has just been told.
Told or sold?
Sold.
My angel is a centerfold. My angel is a centerfold.
Na, 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 na. There you go.
And that's what I loved about it, because he's talking, the lyrics are...
It's not that good of a record in comparison to the earlier stuff.
But the lyrics in that song,
right.
Basically it's like, my heart's broken. I just found out my girlfriend's in a magazine.
Right.
But the way he's singing it, it sounds joyful.
Because she's paying the rent.
It's like, and he's like,
she's made all this money.
It's like,
I don't have to go to work.
That's
what the song is
about.
Is
this even a problem? That's all I'm thinking.
No, it's not a problem. He's so happy. You would be the perfect candidate to have a girl who is a centerfold, so you don't have to work.
Oh, I'd love that.
But you know what? You'd probably be a jealous kind of guy, though. What do you mean you saw my chick in a magazine?
I was going to say I would love that. I think, I kind of have always
Are you a jealous kind of guy?
I can be,
yeah,
but
I've
learned to
tame it down.
Not tame it down, just I think I'm just dead enough now that I
no more feelings.
Yeah, it's just about
Isn't it great not having feelings? Like, do you find life a lot easier now?
At times, yeah, definitely. I think I would like to I kind of would like to date a porn star.
I thought you only dated porn stars.
No. I would like, wouldn't that be great?
To date a porn star?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, you got to think about this, though. Think about what they do. And think about how often they do it, and with all sorts of different people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the thing is like, by the time you really want to have some sort of intimate play with them, it probably doesn't mean anything to them because that's what they do for work. So they would probably say, let's go cherry picking. Let's go pick apples.
All they want to do is talk about
They want to do normal stuff. Let's do some jarring. Let's pick potatoes.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of shower process before you.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the shower process. No, I mean, even if both of you guys got industrially scrubbed, that's not even the issue. It's just the fact that she probably won't be as intimate or happy with intimacy because that's all she does all the time, right?
I hear what you're saying. I believe what you're saying, but I'm saying from a guy's standpoint,
we don't care about that kind of stuff.
No, it's not that. That's not even my point at all. My point is that the idea is the jealousy factor has to go right out the window at that point. Like if accepting her
you can't be
as her job.
You can't be living with a porn star if you have jealousy issues.
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what are you saying?
What I'm saying is what if what is she gonna do if a lot of guys and girls always worry about their other half cheating on them,
right?
So say your porn star girlfriend cheats on you,
right?
What does that matter?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Right?
Because she professionally cheats on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So your mind would you'd be relaxed.
I saw this comedian at the Shelley Marshall show. I can't remember his name right now, but he was fantastic. And he had this one funny, he had like this Bob Newhart delivery, which was fantastic.
I love Bob Newhart.
Me too. He said, well, I just found out my wife is the office slut. We opened up a home business about half a year ago.
Oh, I know that guy. Oh, he's really funny too. Darn it! I wish I knew his name.
Yeah, he was on the last Shelley.
Darn it!
Yeah,
I'm gonna find out his name and I'll say it next week. I feel bad for not knowing his name right now. All his material. He's so funny.
He's really funny. His delivery.
His delivery's great. He's got kind of a Norm Macdonald tinge to him.
Norm Macdonald meets Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Probably the two influences.
Perfect. Yeah. But his material is really funny.
It's funny, man. It's totally funny stuff.
Bad. Can you text Shelley?
You know what? I'll text Shelley shortly. Shortly. 3:15. Okay, so we've taken care of the business. We've told you about what's going on in the show. We've got a big show that's happening actually this weekend. There's two great rock and roll shows. Teen Anger comes back on Friday night with the TV Freaks, as well as Soup Cans and Hagface. And then Saturday, Grade hits the stage at the St. Hollywood with special guests Dead Tired, which features Phil Waring, who used to be in Fog of Leprosy, as well as, I guess he still is, the Black Lungs, and George Pettit, who is also part of Alexis on Fire.
George Pettit's new band?
Yeah.
Where's he playing?
At the Saints Saturday night at our place.
Saturday?
Yep. And Chris Whetstone's also in the band as well, who used to be the drummer of Dead Tired. And so these guys are going to be playing, as well as Ben Rispin's new band, Rules.
Oh, wait, are you telling me all these bands are playing this Saturday?
You got it, man.
Oh my God!
Why? What are you doing Saturday?
I think I'm going to.
Well, you're going to come over?
Yeah,
yeah, you should.
I want to hear Ben's new band.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Rules.
Amazing name.
Yeah.
And I want to hear George's new band so bad. Have you heard George?
Yeah, we saw they played the Vice Party at the bar in August. They were great.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, yeah. I want to hear. I so badly want to hear both those bands.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we should, we should be right up there.
What time's the show start at?
Well, the doors open at 9ish, and then the fun will probably start a little after 10.
Okay,
and our friend Dave Montour, who you know, Dave Montour, Broken Mohawk is his DJ name, and he's going to be spinning music. So there you go. It's going to be a really cool weekend of shows. And we also remind you that you should pick up a View magazine and check out Rick Taylor's article, Hamilton Music Notes, as well as the calendar in the back, and also Graham Rockingham's stories and best bets as well through the Spec and thespec.com. Our friend Gunnar Smith has a really great blog going, as well as Kirsten Archer, I Heart Hamilton. And Kirsten also has a show here on Fridays that you should tune into Fridays afternoon at 2:00. Want to get on to some music? Should we hear some music? Because we've got some chocolate to eat, buddy.
Yeah, we got 2 hours.
Yeah, and your medicine.
Yeah, I got a 5-hour energy drink.
So now you've got 10.
I'm not taking the second one yet, dude.
Well, you got to take it by what time?
Well, my doctor says every 5 hours.
You swore.
Did I swear?
I think you just did.
No, I didn't.
No, maybe not. 317, folks, here's some music of a band that I just haven't been able to get enough of lately. I know that I played some last week, but you know what? Just satisfy my hunger here. Here's more music from the Naz on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, music there from the Naz, from a compilation released on Rhino Records a bunch of years ago entitled Open Our Eyes, which I would really highly recommend that you pick up. You heard two great songs there, the one called Meridian Leeward, and we started the set off with The Back of Your Mind. And if you listen to that song, it's almost kind of like sort of like the prototype of a lot of that stoner rock. You like stoner rock, Manolis?
Yeah, I like anything that's stoner.
You're excited about having your friends. Rick Shapiro's going to be coming back up?
Oh, no, I was just mentioning Rick Shapiro, and Rick's not coming by anytime soon, I don't think. But I was just saying Rick Shapiro's a friend of mine, too.
Now, you know how we were talking about Rick Taylor?
Rick Taylor, yeah.
And how Stan Thompson does a
Rick
good
Taylor impression.
Rick Taylor impression.
How does he know Rick?
Well, we told him about him, remember?
Yeah. But he knew who he was, right?
No, he didn't know who he was. We told him who he was. And so he had the growly voice just like Rick did, right?
Right.
So it was just very easy for him to just get into that character. Anyway, speaking of Rick, we're hosting a party on October 18th, and this is kind of a special party, folks, because it's a radio friendly party because this guy's going into his 25th year of community radio.
Rick Taylor?
Yeah, his show.
He's been Lullabies. In here.
Well, on this station. Yeah, 25 years.
This
no. This room
has been moved?
Yeah, it used to be in another location beforehand.
No way. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, way, man. So, yeah, 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, he's going into his 25th year, and he's also celebrating a birthday. So, if you're a friend of Rick, you may want to show up at the bar on Saturday, October 18th. He's celebrating his 25th year, which is a huge accolade if you really think about it. Like 25 years of Fridays.
25 years of Fridays, and he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Everybody should be happy about that.
And he has that really impressive Christmas show that happens every year where he really gets a bunch of the local musicians to come in on a show on the Friday to sing a Christmas carol, and they raise food, and it goes to some sort of ministry or a charity. So it's all good, man.
Yeah, that's exciting. That'll be a fun party.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Who's that? Who's calling you?
Patrick Coppolino.
Let's see what Patrick wants.
Okay, hang on.
Put him on speakerphone. I
am. Patrick? Hang on.
Do you know how
to
say something? Okay, tell him not to swear.
Don't swear. You're on the radio.
Okay.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, on speakerphone.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey.
Hey.
Lou
there?
Yeah, Lou's here.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, Lou.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
I miss you.
I miss you too, Lou.
I miss you more, man.
Huh?
I miss you more.
Probably.
How's it going? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's all right.
Yeah. How come you're disturbing our show?
Oh, I missed a call from Manolis.
Oh, so Manolis is calling you during the show?
Before, probably.
Before
As
the
it
show.
was ringing, I realized he was probably on the radio.
I see. Everything good, Patrick?
Yeah, it's going all right.
Do you mind?
In the rain.
Are you doing your show tonight?
Yeah. It's
Right.
at 10 p.m. tonight.
I'll be there to interrupt it. No, I'm only kidding. 8 o'clock till what time, man?
No, it's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Till
10 o'clock?
Yeah, normally it starts at 9, but today it's just this week it's starting at 10. It'll probably go till about 11:30.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah, and it's free for students.
And
only $3.50 if you're not a student.
Fantastic.
Manolis should be there, I think.
Manolis said he was going to be there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you through to Manolis, and I'm going to continue on with some more music. How's that? All right, folks. Taking care of some requests. Here's some music from the Ramones on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, music there from the Nomads. You heard two tunes from Big Sound 2000, the King of the Night Train, and from the Cold Hard Facts of Life, an album that they released actually on Lance Rock Records, which used to be a Canadian independent record label from the west coast of Canada. They covered a bunch of Canadian rock and roll bands and garage bands, so they covered Teenage Head, as you just heard. They covered the Ugly Ducklings. They covered the Great Northwest, as well as the Jury.
You wanted to say the Great White North.
I totally wanted to say the Great White North. It's a fantastic album. You heard their rendition of Picture My Face by Teenage Head, of course, in that set. 3:44, Manolis hanging out with me till 5 o'clock. We're going to be talking to Kyle Bishop of Grade in about 20 minutes or so. We got the MP3 of the week in about 15 minutes.
Wait, isn't he in Ben's new band, you said?
No, he's Ben's new band is playing on this gig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kyle's in Grade.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
But we're talking about the same show, which is good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. My friend Greg Briscoe celebrated his birthday yesterday.
All right, happy birthday, dude.
Yeah. I was at work. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to celebrate it with him on Monday. Actually, Monday I went to visit my dad, and yesterday was his official birthday, so I had to work late, so unfortunately I didn't get a chance to hang out with him and give him the birthday spanks. Did you ever get a birthday spanking at all?
I remember I remember that.
Did you really get one?
Not on your birthday.
Like, so you got a birthday spanking when?
I remember being like,
who gave you the spanking?
My buddies, when I was hanging out between 9 and 12 or something. I remember when we knew about that, oh, how old are you? 9 or 10 years old. And then we'd all hold that one person down and do it to them and pretend it was their birthday, but it was just an excuse to slap them in the bum 10 times.
Just to get your anger out, right? It's for therapy.
Well, whatever. We're kids. It was stupid. It was the funny thing is we're going to give you a couple extras in case we don't see you next year. You know
That's
what I mean?
funny. Before the Nomads, we heard music from the Dictators, from Go Girl Crazy, Master Race Rock, and we started the set off with the Ramones. Mondo Bizarro is the name of the record, and the song you heard is Cabbies on Crack. Have you ever spanked a cabbie on crack?
No, I haven't.
No.
But I think I'd like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
I think I'd like to get spanked by a cabbie that's on crack.
Have you ever been spanked by a guy or a girl, other than these little birthday spankings of little fetishes that you boys did playing around in your school?
No, I haven't had too many aggressive girls yet. No? I have little snippets of it, but I think I'm at that point in my life where.
Wouldn't it bother you though if all of a sudden you get a girl that's stronger than you and just tackles you down and
I almost did
manhandles you?
I almost did that one day. The girl that was stronger than me, and I chickened out last minute.
Did you?
Yeah.
Afraid of the effect that it may cause?
Well, she was a Russian girl. I was in the UK, and I thought I was just drunk enough where I thought this is great. I'm going to go home with this girl. Mm-hmm. And through the night, for some reason, I think even though I was drunk, I had that moment. You ever have a moment of clarity?
All the time.
Right? I just had a moment of clarity where
I'm kind of like a clairvoyance when it comes to moments of clarity.
And I just went, what am I doing?
Right.
Right? And
I'm going to get beat up.
This is just not going to be a good situation.
Yeah.
Because I was, for some reason.
How did you know that she wanted to beat you up?
Not beat me up. I'm not saying she wanted to beat me up. I just knew she was
You just noticed that she was naturally aggressive?
Well, yeah, because she said that. She goes, okay, drink or drink. She's a broken English, right?
Yeah.
Drink or drink. We leave. We go my place and we have sex now. Okay, let's go. I'm like, I don't know.
See, I'm surprised that you out of all people didn't.
She wasn't crazy. She was just. She
frightened you.
There was things about her I was attracted to, but things about her I wasn't, and
right.
I was just drunk enough that I was overlooking the things that I wasn't, and then all of a sudden I couldn't look
reality
over.
Kicked in.
Yeah, I just had a moment of clarity.
Right.
So I told her, I'm like, hey, I talked her into dancing instead
to wear off a bit of the drunkenness.
No, just to figure out an escape plan. and because it was just me and her at this point, right? Everybody else had left, and I just at that point I remember the song too. It was
what song was
a song. It was a Justin Timberlake song.
Wow.
I was playing. I'm like, and I said, "Oh my God, I love this song." let's go dance to it. And as soon as we started dancing, I told her that I had to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then I just casually walked out the front doors and I ran down the street like the Terminator was after me, even though she was still dancing.
Where was this?
In London, England.
Wow.
I was running Forrest Gump. You know that Forrest Gump?
Like
that first time when he was
steroid running.
Well, no, remember when he was like, "Run, Forrest, run," and all the bracket, all the things on his legs broke off?
Yep.
That's how I was running.
Wow.
Out of fear. Because somehow, it's like, no, you change your mind. I thought she was going to make me go home with her.
How did you meet her? Did you just pick her up at a bar? Or was it a mutual friend?
She worked at the Comedy Store in London, England, and that's kind of how I met her that way. And everybody from the show one night.
Let me guess, in hospitality.
She was the cook,
the maitre d'.
Her arms were bigger than mine.
Yeah, wow.
So I was.
How old is she?
I don't know, probably like 35.
Whoa! What are you doing, man?
Dude.
How come you're different there than you are over here?
It's a different time zone.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay, got you. Yeah, that makes it.
Does this answer your questions, Lou?
No. Well, yeah. It does answer my question because you see, normally here you're fragile, and also you date women under 30 here.
Well, I tend to, yeah.
But then there's a time change. That wasn't going to be a
date, though, man. That was going to be like a
hookup.
That was a hookup. That was going to be like a Tinder thing. I don't know.
Tinder thing. That's funny.
But I'm at that point now. I think like you, I'm ready to settle down and look for love. I'm ready for love.
Right. Are you really ready to settle down? You think you are?
No,
you're not ready to settle down.
I'm ready to. I know. I'm ready to. I don't know.
I think you are.
I'm ready for. I'm ready for a girl to not to deal with me. If that makes sense. If someone can deal with me, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that. We're all. Everybody's a handful one way or another.
Right.
And
it's fine. Everybody needs a handful one way or another.
Yeah.
Right.
Find someone to deal with your poo-poo,
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wish you luck, man.
I mean,
it's gonna. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's gonna take a real special kind of girl that's not only gonna be physically aggressive with you, but mentally aggressive as well. That's gonna put you in your place. Because you get a tendency to be wild, right? And if you have a girl that's not gonna be able to control your wildness, you're gone.
Yeah, if I find a girl as wild as me, she's not going to want me.
Right. Then it's a reversal of roles, right?
I want to just make it to 70. If I can make it to 70, then I'm just going to go like full
What are you going to do afterwards? Then settle down?
No, if I make it to 70, I'm going to go hardcore drug addict.
Then just kill yourself in a month?
Well, whatever, how long it takes. But yeah, I'm just going to enjoy like hardcore drugs and then just peter off that way.
Right, because you made it to 70.
Well, what more do I need?
Your finish line needs. Yeah, exactly.
What more do I need? Like, I don't want to embrace hardcore. I don't want to say what drugs, but I don't want to embrace hardcore drugs because I need this lid. I need this brain for another so many years. But if I can make it 70, I don't really. There's not much more I need to do with it. I'm
in your corner, man. I think you can do it. Yeah. Because you know what? You've got this very uncomplexed way of living life.
Okay, I don't know how that means, but
you live life easily. You don't let life take you down. You just deal with one obstacle after another continuously, and it doesn't matter. You get through it one way or another. You get a new car when the old car, everything works out for you.
I'm against the idea of what it is I was thinking about this day. It's like, because everybody deals with some sort of depression, and whether you have depression, actual problems, or you're just depressed sometimes.
Yeah.
I would just say I'm depressed sometimes. I wouldn't say I don't think it's fair to say I have any real problems.
I don't think you have. I don't even think you're depressed. I think what you do is like you kind of contemplate things.
Well, I'm saying it's easy to enjoy the ups, but I just like the idea of like when I'm going through the downs, whatever they are, just to be like, so what? Go after yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like just because I'm supposed to feel bad at this time in my life for whatever reason, for whether it's a day or an hour, so what?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Deal with it. Because I always think about how there's always people dealing with real problems all the time.
Exactly.
So what? I feel sorry for myself for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you just shrug it off.
I'm almost mean to myself.
I know. A quick trip to the dollar store, get yourself some candy, and you're happy again.
You're
right?
done. Get a lollipop.
3:53. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin some music from our band, Tung Fu, as we say belated happy birthday to Greg Briscoe, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. I'm not entirely sure how old he is. I think he's in his late 30-ish, somewhere in around there. So we'll say, and actually we also want to say that Briscoe plays in the Dinner Bells, and they've got their record release happening on October 18th as well at the Casbah, so we'll probably hook up with one of the guys from the Dinner Bells to talk about their record release in the weeks to come. In the meantime, you know what? We'll spend something from our debut as well as our song about the street that we love so much called James Street North. How's
awesome.
That? Okay, music from Tung Fu on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, two from the Foo, James Street North, as well as Tung Fu. You know what was really cool? If you pick up a Hamilton magazine, it's a current issue of the magazine. We get a record review, which was a very kind review, as well as a review of the video, which was done by Phil Pattison, Ben Rispin, who sometimes sits in during the show, but I know he's been really busy as of late, and Cam Schwartz. We all got together during three different occasions, 3 different days to do this video. It's kind of surreal hearing your music on radio. Do you ever listen to your comedy stuff elsewhere, like when you saw yourself on TV?
Yeah, I would say the first time I saw it on TV, I was okay with it. I didn't like it, actually.
You didn't like it? What did you like about yourself being on TV?
I just
talk to me, man. Talk to me.
I didn't enjoy it. Most comics don't enjoy watching themselves.
They don't?
No.
Most comics are kind of screwed up, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, in the fact that they overanalyze themselves, I think.
Well, yeah, I think they can be it's a good mess in a sense. I remember Jason Rouse at one time said, he heard another comedian say this, but comedians are broken toys.
That's funny.
In a sense, like, remember, like, just remember, like, you had all those broken toys at one point that you broke, and you're like, you still had them, but you wanted to throw them out, but that you didn't really have any good toys, so you just were forced to still play with your broken toys.
I got a stomach ache. I ate the chocolate bar too fast.
Really?
Yeah. I love caramels. How many can you eat in a row, do you think?
Probably one.
Yeah.
I can't overeat any kind of sweets. I mean, it's like, if I eat a chocolate bar, I don't even buy the bigger chocolate. I buy a normal sized chocolate bar. I remember when I bought when I was a kid.
Right.
I used to buy Mars bars. I remember they were like $0.25.
For a Mars bar? What, you mean the little teeny weeny ones?
No, a regular sized Mars bar you can still get now today. That's how old I am. They were 25 cents, man. Was
that your favorite chocolate bar ever?
Mars was all right, and Mars bar was probably the one I did for the most.
How about gum? Remember Black Cat?
No.
Black Cat gum was the best. It was black gum. And it was the stuff that you could always put in front of your teeth and go, look.
Did you ever buy the gum that was like for baseball players, that one?
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And then Popeye Smokes.
Oh, for sure.
You always warming your shoulders.
And you always wanted to have something come out of your mouth as you pretended you were inhaling.
Yeah, Popeye Smokes. They were delicious.
But think about how many people started smoking because of Popeye Smokes.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I did for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the reason?
That's the reason why we all smoked. Because we wanted to be like Popeye.
I think you still buy them. That's the weird thing.
Although they were shaped more like joints than they were like cigarettes.
I know. They were tiny, eh?
Yeah, so it tells you a little bit more about that. 403, folks, this is when we take care of the MP3 of the week. Our friend Rob Sweeney, who also, by the way, plays in Tung Fu, was kind enough, and he always is, right? Because he sends us all these great songs. Do you pay attention to these songs?
I have them all in a row.
Okay.
I record them. I have a recorder at home.
Do you, you're recording the show right now, so when you get home, you're going to have the MP3 of the week already.
Well, I've cut them all together. I have them all from the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a machine.
I love Rob Sweeney's
MP3 of the week.
Yeah, this is what I live for, man. This is one of the things that keep me alive.
This is better than lunch, isn't it?
It's better than pizza.
Ooh. What kind of pizza? From where, though? It all depends on where the pizza's from.
What's that place?
Those are fighting words, man. Bronzies. Yeah, that's good pizza. Rob Sweeney writes today, hello, Lou. After turning down Jimmy Page on an offer to be the singer of a new band that Page was putting together, Terry Reid went on to start a solo career that never took off as expected. Here's a song called Super Lungs, My Super Girl off his release in 1969 entitled Terry Reid, which was in fact his second record. Here's something really quick, something very interesting and quickly I'll mention. Jimmy Page wanted him to be the singer of a band called the New Yardbirds, which eventually became Led Zeppelin, right? But because he had commitments in going on the road, playing with Cream, I guess he was on the road with Cream, he passed down that. And then listen to this. When Rod Evans left Deep Purple, they contacted Terry Reid because he was just like, he's a great singer, right? They contacted Terry Reid to see if Terry Reid would want to be the singer of Deep Purple, and he turned that down as well.
So what did he do?
Well, he didn't have a very big career, but he's really prominent in this documentary that you see on YouTube about groupies. So he probably hung out with a lot of groupies. But he did have like about 6 or 7.
Are you telling me Terry Reid could have been the singer of Zeppelin?
Terry Reid could have been Jimmy Page wanted him to be the singer of Zeppelin, but it was Terry Reid who said, "Oh no! You know what? You should check out this other guy from Birmingham. He's got this great soul voice. He's in a band called Band of Joy. His name is Robert Plant. Why don't you call him up?" Yeah. So that's how that happened. And then when he got asked to sing for Deep Purple, he said, "Nah, I can't do it, man. I'm on the road." So they asked Ian Gillan.
Wow.
So he hasn't made good choices in his life.
Well, how good is his voice, though? He must have an amazing voice.
He's got an amazing voice, but nothing's really come up. I think
still alive?
Yeah. I think he's always had like a cult status in terms of following and people that have followed him, you know. His records have been good. He's written songs for different people. But I know for a fact, like I know he wrote some songs for the Hollies, and I know that, I think I've got 3 of his records, and they're good records, and he's a great singer. It's just that he hasn't made the right choices in his life when it comes to...
Has he been able to support himself through the years, like through his music?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. But that's his story, man. You know, he's the guy who said no to Zeppelin, and he's the guy who said no to Deep Purple.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're world famous for something, you might as well be world famous for that.
Does he have regrets for
Probably not, because he's so prominent in this documentary about groupies. So he probably slept with a lot of girls because he said no to these 2 bands.
That's cool.
Folks, this is your MP3 of the week, courtesy of our friend Rob Sweeney. 93.3 CFMU. Folks, that is your MP3 of the week, courtesy of our friend Rob Sweeney. You just heard Terry Reid doing a song called Super Lungs, My Super Girl. What a great title. 410, sitting with me is Manolis, and on the phone with us right now is Kyle Bishop. Kyle, are you there, sir?
I'm here.
How you doing?
Pretty good yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking time during your busy day to talk to us. Say hi to my friend Manolis.
Hey, Manolis. What's up?
Hey, dude. How you doing, man?
So, for people who, let's really quickly just talk about the beginning of the band. For people who are not familiar with the band grade, here's a bunch of young kids from Burlington back in the early 90s that decide to get the band together to release their first record in 94, is it?
That's correct, yes.
That's crazy. How old were you, Kyle?
Oh, 94? I was 18, 19.
And prior to releasing your record, how long were you guys together?
Well, we were in a band before that called Incision as well. And we had a bunch of bands actually before that. Greg Taylor did, and then so did we. And just after everything kind of broke up, that's when Grade formed.
And Grade was to get, like, the thing about it is so Grade puts out this record, and then all of a sudden you guys start getting attention from other labels. So, you know, as you guys are in your early 20s, you guys are doing massive shows, you guys are doing more touring, and you're, like, getting more productive and even more prolific with labels that, you know, would actually become even stronger and bigger labels. So you guys were, like, really at the beginning of a lot of growth on a lot of these indie labels as well.
Some of it. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of the shows were massive, but we started, you know, in a very strong DIY scene that once, you know, the 90s came around, a lot of the stuff, like, you know, the first generation punk stuff was all gone, and the hardcore generation of the 80s was disappearing. And, you know, through the guys from Longest War, they had a band called Chokehold, him and guys like Jeff Beckman, who run Thinking Inc. in Hamilton, they all kind of were in a great band, and they sort of started this little teeny little scene, and we all sort of grew together into something bigger.
What's really interesting is that, like, both of these scenes, like, you're talking about the Burlington scene and, of course, the Hamilton scene as well. You mentioned Jeff Beckman, who is almost world famous for being in Haymaker.
Mm-hmm, that's correct, yeah.
And, you know, during these whole musical explosions that were happening, the interesting thing about it is that Burlington seemed to get a lot more attention outside of like this geographical area, and it just seemed bands like Grade were, like, you know, and it's just funny now that I hear this word attached to Grade, that you guys were prototypes of a lot of the screamo bands that were coming out, as like almost being kind of pioneers.
Yeah, I've heard that lots of times. I don't know if I necessarily believe it or not, because we were just sort of part of a scene, and we just kind of did things the way we did it, and it wasn't intentional. And there was a lot of other bands sort of kind of doing what we were doing. I guess we just did it a little bit differently. I don't really know what to think. I mean, because ultimately the way I always see it is that Bob Mould sang the way I sang like 10 years, 15 years before I did, and so did everybody else. I just kind of sort of was influenced by that more than anything. So, I mean, we're all sort of a product of each other, are we not?
Yeah, true enough. Yeah,
very true.
But at least in your geographical area, Grade was a very important band because it really kind of opened the doors for a lot of things that had happened. And just thinking about the bands that spawned off from Grade as well, like Greg went off to start Jersey. You know, there's a lot that can be said just from the importance of this band.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Where was your strongest market outside of Canada?
Canada was our weakest market, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but outside of Canada, what was your strongest market?
It was the U.S., and Europe was really strong for us. Both of them were really, really strong for us.
Were there any particular tours or shows that really kind of thought, man, this is all worth it?
No. Sometimes you wanted to kill most of the time you wanted to kill yourself because it was horrible because you're constantly on the road. But we had great times. I mean, there was tours that we did that were fantastic. Like, we did one with the Merge City Devils.
Oh, cool.
Merge City Devils, American Steel, and Botch.
Wow.
And that was a fantastic tour. And we were never really pigeonholed. We kind of were always the odd man out wherever we were. You know, there was times we were on tour with Jimmy Eat World, and it was like Jimmy Eat World was not anything what they are now. They're a very small band. Mm-hmm. And so you're playing with more of a lighthearted kind of punky emo type band, and we were like very aggressive with them. But then other times when we were playing with the Dillinger Escape Plan or Botch or Converge or any of these like heavyweight hardcore / metal bands, and then all of a sudden we were like the biggest wimps in the world, you know. And it was really strange because at times we'd play with, you know, ska bands and then metal bands and then thrash bands. We literally played with everybody.
But knowing you as as just seeing you go to a lot of shows at the Saint and all sorts of different shows, you're a type of guy that gets influenced from a whole bunch of different music in total.
Yeah, I mean, all of us in the band have been a very widespread palette when it comes to music.
So it kind of makes sense in a way that you guys would be playing with all sorts of different bands, because I can see you guys being very influenced and, you know, kind of not being afraid to admit that you guys perhaps like ska or perhaps like punk or hardcore or whatever, right?
Of course not. Why would you be embarrassed about something you like?
Well, because like sometimes when bands have to sound like a band, they can't really open up and say, you know, I love the first 3 Kiss records.
Yeah, you know what? We never sort of adhered to those rules. It's kind of like we were in part of the hardcore scene, and it might have been taboo to a lot of people if you liked the Smiths or the Pixies or if you were into Sacrifice. But we didn't care. We just liked what we liked, and we always just stood our ground with that way. And we always felt that we were still strongly part of the DIY scene. It was growing up in, like, within that scene within Hamilton, especially, there's a little place called House for Zach that was on Upper Sherman. And with the guys from the band Chokehold, it was a breeding ground for a lot of us. And that household spawned a lot of really great musicians that have gone abroad and done really impressive things.
Well, it starts from somewhere, and it's always not the most typical places, right?
Of course. You know, and who would have thought it would have been this tiny little, like, room in a house?
In Upper Sherman.
In Upper Sherman.
May it never change, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, bands like Earth Crisis played there, like really influential bands like Unbroken, Chokehold, and as well as a lot of, you know, bands from the U.S. Everyone played there, and later on went to much bigger bands after that.
I went there years ago with Jimmy Vapid. Mm-hmm. To see a show, and I can't remember what it was or to see a party, but all I remember, and I mean this with the utmost respect, it was chaos.
It was always chaos. You know, you had a few hundred kids smash into 2 little teeny-weeny rooms, and everyone was just going nuts, and it was quite wonderful. It was a great time to be around music.
God bless their neighbors.
I don't think the neighbors around there really care that much, to be honest with you.
No, for sure. So was the deciding factor of getting Great back together after the Guelph show from a few years ago?
Yeah, it was totally by accident. We had no plans whatsoever to be in this band ever again. And when we did that Guelph show, it just seemed like fun. And then all of a sudden, everyone just kept asking us to play more shows. So we said, sure. You know, there was no thinking about it whatsoever. We just said, let's just do it, and we'll just do it until it's not fun anymore.
And what was the whole logic behind re-releasing Separate the Magnets?
Just, it hadn't been on vinyl for a really, really long time, like since 97.
Right.
The original pressing had been gone. And
did anyone ever pick it up afterwards to re-release it prior to just the new release of 2014?
Well, it was available on CD throughout that time,
but not on vinyl.
But never on vinyl. I think the initial pressing of a couple thousand sold out and was never done again.
Wow.
And then we ended up just, you know, talking about it, and we figured that, you know, we haven't put a record out on a Canadian label since the very beginning in '94, and that was just a split CD.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you guys do the split CD with?
A band called Believe.
Okay.
Which ended up being like half the guys were in Jersey and a bunch of other, you know, local hardcore bands.
Yeah.
So we hadn't done that in a really long time, and we figured, you know, it'd be great if, you know, Joel from Die Alone could do it. And because we had lots of offers from U.S. labels, but we wanted to kind of bring it back to Canada for once. And, you know, Joel did a pretty damn good job. Joel and everyone at Die Alone did a really good job.
And it's always a lot easier going to someone you know to pick up money as opposed to having to go to the States, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? The States have always treated us really well, to be honest with you. I mean, all the labels, everyone in the U.S. always embraced us, mostly before Canada ever did.
It's always a story, isn't it?
Yeah, because Canada never really cared for us, to be honest with you. I mean, we toured Europe twice before we even toured across Canada once.
Really, eh?
Yeah. And same
so how early were you in, sorry to interrupt you, but how early were you touring Europe?
Well, I think it was 96 was the first time we were there.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Do you prefer vinyl?
Pardon me?
Do you prefer putting things out in vinyl?
Oh, yeah. I'm a vinyl junkie, so...
You know, I've often said this, and I'm not entirely sure why it hasn't been done, but someone's really got to document like 1991, 92 to say 2004, 2005 of all the Burlington stuff that's happened, because there's been so much magical things that have happened out of Burlington that's really been, kind of amazing to think of bands like yourselves, the Vapid, Silverstein, Jersey, Video Dead, St. Delvia. Yeah, but there's just so, and it goes on and on and on. It's always been a city that's been just so musically friendly, and it just seems like it's such a sort of an inconspicuous sort of city. You would never suspect it because you don't sense it that much until you really realize, there's been a fantastic record store on Branch Street for so many years. There's a lot of people in the city that have always been really heavily related into music. Finger 11 is another band that I forgot to mention. But it's just so surprising how it's almost somewhat mysterious until you start name dropping all these bands that are from Burlington.
But it's always been there, though. I mean, even from Spoons and Slander and all these amazing bands that came out of Burlington, and even in the 80s, there was a lot of really cool bands that came out of there. It's just been a very musical city for some strange reason.
I want to read something to you. Quote, unquote, "I am caught up into orbit. There was no apparatus malfunction. The signal's out." I love these lyrics because, to me, I'm a big space rock fan, and a lot of your lyrics, especially on this record, I thought were very space rock friendly.
Yeah, I guess. A lot of it was just growing up on sci-fi and different ideas, and when kind of listening and reading a lot of punk rock lyrics and hardcore lyrics, I found a lot of it very derivative and cheesy, and I just sort of like to approach things a little bit differently, and that's what I did.
I thought that the lyrical content in Grade was one of the things that perhaps should be definitely mentioned a lot more, because, again, as you mentioned, I thought one of the things that was always kind of typical with a lot of the hardcore bands was that it just seemed the lyrical content was always either redundant or you could suspect it to be in a certain vein. But once I started listening a little bit closely to your to the lyrics, I started realizing how much a lot of it were, like, as you mentioned, sci-fi influence, which I'm a huge fan of that. But again, thinking like, man, these would be great lyrics for a space rock song.
There's a lot of hidden metaphor within it. I like to jam a lot of stuff within, a handful of lines, and a lot of people take things in different ways and they reinterpret it. And there's been a lot of great lyricists over the times. I don't necessarily think I'm one of them, but I was definitely influenced by people to try to better myself. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and something else that I noticed that's very unique about your style of singing is your phrasing is very different than a lot of other singers.
It's terrible.
No, you see, I think it's unique. You think it's terrible?
I think my voice in general is pretty horrible.
I love the phrasing of the way you sing your songs. Again, like you've got your own timing, but it fits the meter.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's a few songs that kind of mess up the guys in the band sometimes when I don't sing, because then they're trying to figure out where the hell they're going. And to be honest with you, I don't know why. It's probably just because I have zero musical talent. And when people go in there just kind of like these like painters that don't have training, I'm one of those guys. I just kind of went into it and just blindly tried to make it work.
Did you always color over the lines?
I even go into the book half the time.
Your guests that you've got coming up playing with you on Saturday, obviously this is something that was really important to you guys to have a lot of close friends participate in the show.
Yes, absolutely it was. And it was very difficult to sort through all the bands that we wanted to play. Mm-hmm. And because we have a huge musical history with like Longest War, the guys from Buffalo, Chris Logan from Hamilton, long-time friends and huge influence on us as musicians, as people.
Yeah, Chris Logan's great.
Just absolutely amazing guy, and they've always been around there for us, and we wanted them to play with us. And Dead Tired, George, we have a long history with George as well. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Rules with Ben.
Yeah.
And Chuck, longtime friends as well. And we just wanted to make sure that it was one of these, like, family affair type things. And we just didn't want to kind of have these, like, random bands playing because they're the cool bands or because, they were the one band that was available to play. Mm-hmm. And we just wanted to have everyone to have a good time.
Well, you could totally see that this was definitely a heartfelt show that, you really wanted it to be amongst a lot of your friends. And that's something that I always make the greatest nights. And we're really super stoked to be hosting it. Before we say goodbye to you, if people want to get more information on the band, what's the best way to get info and to learn about Grade right now?
Oh, boy, I'm the wrong guy to ask about that.
How about the vinyl?
To be honest with you, vinyl, look at Dial Alone's webpage.
Mm-hmm.
I think Victory just re-released Under the Radar on vinyl as well. So there's a couple things like that that's out there. Otherwise, don't pay attention to us. There's so many better bands that are around you can listen to, right? Hamilton has a slew of great bands that they should be listening to.
Do you have a favorite Jeff Beckman moment?
Musically or otherwise?
Your choice.
Well, I would say there's nothing bad that Jeff Beckman or Chris Logan has ever done. So I have bought everything that they have ever released.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something funny. Like, the one thing that I think is somewhat of a mystery to a lot of people who may just look at the exterior of bands like Haymaker and realize, oh, these guys are animals. Why would you want to put these guys up in your bar? And why do you hang around with these people? And why do you like these people? These people are really nice people.
It's not even the fact that they're just nice people, that they're real.
Exactly.
They're not fake. And,
no.
These guys, they come out and they are who they are. And they play real music, they write real music, and guess what? They get out there and they do it all themselves. They always have and they always will. And that's what's always been impressive about the Hamilton scene. Between Jeff Beckman and Chris Logan, they've had their record labels. Both of them had Goodfellow Records, and Jeff had his own label. They have their own bands, and then he also has so many other things, and that attitude has spread beyond them to all their friends and beyond into the world. Like, these people they're massively influential around the world.
Yeah.
I'm proud to know them.
I remember, there was one show that we did with Haymaker a bunch of years ago when I was managing the Corktown, and something that was really bizarre. This was way before all hell broke loose on that one particular show, but it was a show where they actually finished their whole set. But the thing that amazed me was during the day at around 2:00, these three guys came in and asked if Haymaker was playing. And I noticed that they had a European accent. I said, "Are you guys from Hamilton?" And they said, "No, we just got here. We flew in from Holland to see Haymaker."
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's how, when you're talking about true diehard fans that never let go of the favorite bands, like, that tells you right there how important guys like Beckman are to true fans of hardcore and music.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. I'm really super stoked about Saturday night. It's a homecoming for me, too. I haven't seen a lot of these guys, and I haven't seen Chris Logan perform in a while, so I'm really excited about it. I'm as giddy as a little boy. Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a long time since we played Hamilton, so it's kind of nerve-wracking on one side and exciting on the other. We made reference to the song Conceptualizing Theories in Motion. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song? Because we're going to play that as we say goodbye to you. Lyrically or musically? What's that? Let's just say that's the first song on Separate the Magnets, and it sort of changed who we were as a band and set us on a path. It may not necessarily be the best recording in the world, but at least it has great ideas behind it. And go figure, I'm having a hard time loading this up. You know what? But we are going to get to it before the show's over. So this is what we're going to do, folks. If you want to get tickets to see Grade, you can see Dr. Disc. Go to Cheapies, as well as thisainthollywood.ca and the venue as well. Saturday night's the night of the show. The doors are opening up at 9:00. We encourage you to show up quickly and fast because it is going to sell out. Kyle, thank you so much for taking time and talking to us, and I'll talk to you before Saturday just to get all the logistics straight. Great, man. Sounds great, Lou. Enjoy the rest of your day, Kyle. Thank you. You too. You too, man. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. So, yeah, we're going to maybe play something else in the meantime while we set up some music from Grade. Have you ever seen Grade, Manol? No, I have not. You'll love him. He seems like a really super cool guy. He's a really cool guy. They're all cool guys. Yeah, it sounds like... Do we hang out with the uncool guys? Look at us. No, look at us. You're right. We're cool dudes, You're always right, Lou. I am, aren't I? I think that's the problem. I'm always right. It's nice to listen to guys that are care and that are passionate, and that are real.
Yeah, it all goes together.
Folks, this is what we're going to do. We're going to figure out this technical issue so we can spin some music from Grade. But in the meantime, here is music from Motorhead on 93.3 CFMU. Quality work takes quality time, right, Manol? There you heard some music from Grade, from Separating the Magnets, conceptualizing the theories in motion. Sorry. You can see Grade Saturday night at the St. Hollywood with Dead Tired, The Longest War, featuring Chris Logan, and as well Ben Risman's new band.
I'm really
Chuckles.
excited to hear that. Actually,
yeah, we should just go boo, boo. You're awful, Benjamin. What are you doing on that stage? Come back to the radio show.
Exactly.
We should do some Morrissey.
Morrissey.
Oh, I was
Morrissey.
at work yesterday, and this. Shouldn't talk about work, but this guy from work was driving me crazy because he's a Smiths fan. But the thing is like, he's like, those people are like, this is a really good song, and then they try to sing along with it, but they're singing along with it. It's just awful. So it makes the song
Smith
doubly
fans are
worse.
Like crazy fans.
Oh, they're just.
It might be one of the craziest.
They're not right.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. To each their own, but I just don't get this Morrissey guy. Is you start a band because you're tired of the rain? Seriously, what's going on there? Are you a fan of Jerry Lee Lewis?
I'm more a fan of his story actually than his.
Of course,
I like his. But I like his music too.
Yeah, I'm a big Jerry Lee Lewis. Like out of that whole '50s era, like Jerry's my Elvis Presley.
Jerry's like one of those guys too. Is like I don't know. I would be more curious to see what would have happened if he didn't make some of this silly choices that he made.
Well, I told you that, or I may have told you that I met him in in '87 at Barrymore's in Ottawa when I was in university. Jerry Lee Lewis did 2 shows one night, an 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And this guy that I knew at Barrymore's who used to do posters and everything, I told him, I said, I got to meet him. I got to get all my stuff signed. And so, in between the 2 sets, he said, now's the time to come in and get your stuff signed. So we're sitting in this little area, and I swear to God, there was no one there other than me, this other guy that worked at Barrymore's, another guy that played in his band. The other guys, I don't know where they were, but out of the washroom walks out Jerry Lee Lewis. And you got to think about it. This is so, iconic. He's combing his hair back, and he looks over and he says, how you boys doing? As he combs his hair, right? And he sees me with a bunch of records, and so I'm freaking, right? It's like, oh my God, this is Jerry Lee Lewis, right? I'm like going out of my mind. But it was, and then he takes his comb, points to this tub that they used to use for beer, like an old bathtub that was full of booze and beer and everything. He says, why don't you boys help yourself to some of that beer?
And?
I did. Jerry Lee Lewis told me to go grab a beer. So
then
I did.
What happens?
I signed all his stuff. But
he signed all
my stuff. But what was interesting was he would look in the back and see where the record was made because he would identify what was legit and what wasn't legit. So I think there was 2 or 3 records that he did not sign. I brought about 8 or 9.
What do you mean legit? Like it was either
copies or bootlegs or stuff like that, right? So he would look. So he'd look at them and he's like, I don't recognize this one. This must be a Canadian one. No, it's not. He's like, so he's wise enough to take a look at what, the prints were. So there's 3 records that he didn't sign and 6 that he did. So I thought, 6 or 7 that he signed.
That's so cool.
Oh, it's totally cool. And then we got to see him at Casino Niagara. And, again, what was really funny is he had a music, a guy that was taking care of all the music on stage, right? And, he had a set list made up, and the guy said, Jerry Lee Lewis said, okay, we're going to play the song. And the guy goes, no, Jerry, it's and Jerry goes, I don't care what the set list says, man. I want to play the song. So he breaks into the song, right? And I thought, okay, it could have been a shtick, but I don't think it was a shtick, right?
No.
So the guy who took care of all the music was a guy that used to be in a band called the Hombres, who had a big kind of seminal hit called Let It All Hang Out. So it was kind of really cool to meet him. But I asked him afterwards, I said, hey, that was kind of cool that Jerry Lee Lewis didn't want to follow the set list. He's like, yeah, man, I don't even know why we have a set list, he was saying, because every night, like, it's always different, right? But it was just still kind of cool to see that he's the killer, he's the boss. But I'll never forget that moment of him seeing him walk out of the washroom, combing his hair,
right,
nodding, looking at the records, and then getting his comb, pointing it over to the beer, and says, why don't you boys help yourself to some of that beer? It's like, oh my God, this guy's just too much. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right? But, so pretty amazing. Probably one of the highlights of my life. Meeting Jerry Lee Lewis. I'm serious, man. Like, I mean, some people get so freaked out over Elvis Presley. Jerry Lee Lewis does it for me. He's just one of these guys that just, he's so talented. And yeah, he's got a story to tell, but whether you like the story or not like the story, base it on his music. The guy's a phenomenal piano player. He's a great entertainer.
Trailblazer, right?
He was a trailblazer. He was a poop disturber.
Yeah, he basically did whatever he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't care what anybody thought.
Yeah, I'm going to marry my cousin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The fact that he, I don't know was he famous enough at that point where like he didn't feel like he needed to listen to his friends?
I don't think he ever cared whether he was famous or not. I think he just wanted to call the shots. He just wanted to live life the way he wanted to live life, right?
Right.
And you could tell, like, if you ever seen the movie Great Balls of Fire, or if you've ever seen any documentaries, like things down south were always very morally ridden, and you had to follow some sort of moral, sort of religious way. And I think whether Jerry did believe in it or not, maybe he used that as sort of a barometer of saying, I don't want to live my life this way, because he definitely didn't follow a lot of things that, but neither did his cousin Jimmy Swaggart.
Right.
Afterwards, who was a minister, but then I've sinned. Can
you imagine all the shows he did where like people didn't even realize what was about to come?
Totally.
And then it's like, what in God's name was that?
Yeah, and the infamous story about Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis. Well, I can't really say the whole thing, but I'll give you the Coles Notes version really quickly. Is that I guess one of them had to headline to be like the featured act, even though it was like a co-bill. One of them had to play second.
Right.
So Jerry, last song, lights his piano on fire.
Right.
And says to Chuck Berry, "Beat that."
Yeah.
And then uses
I heard about that. Yeah.
Kind of an unfriendly word.
So it sounded like he had probably like a strong, big ego.
He's a punk.
Yeah.
He's a punk.
Yeah.
That's
to do that. It's like that's
back then.
Yeah.
You got to think about how everything was so conservative, and here comes some guy who's like totally crarazy out of his mind.
I don't even know what year was that. It was like
56, 57.
So like Jimi Hendrix did not like didn't light his guitar on fire yet.
No.
Had anybody burned something on
Jimi Hendrix was only lighting a soother on fire by that point.
That'd be hilarious to see. Maybe he did do that when he's
kind of funny. 4:55, folks. This is it. We don't have much time other than 5 minutes to play a couple of songs of Jerry Lee Lewis. You know how it goes. The drill is that you pick up your View magazine, you pick up your Hamilton Spectator, GunnerSmith.ca, iHeartHamilton.com for all the information on the cool stories. Go see Manolis tonight at Yuck Yucks performing with Patrick Coppolino. It's their open stage, starting at 8 o'clock, going to about 10:30. We'll be here next week. Hopefully you will as well. Special thanks to Rob Sweeney for the MP3 of the week, and of course Kyle Bishop from Grade for giving us a few minutes out of his busy day to talk about the show that's happening Saturday night at the Saint. Folks, we leave you with some Jerry Lee Lewis. Here's a song from an album called Friends. Last Man Standing, recorded with a bunch of his friends. This is Rock and Roll featuring Jimmy Page on guitar. Folks, see you at the show.
Boy, it is rock and roll.